Good evening and good day, whatever time it is for you. I am thankful that you're here. Looking forward to spending some time with you. Oh no, I've got an echo going on. Let me fix that. Excellent. Okay, we're fixed. So, everybody, how are you doing today? Drop a comment. Let me know who's here. Mikey, nice to see you, friend. How are you feeling today? Ben, always nice to see you. I think we got a couple more people in here as well. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. If you've never been here before, welcome. My name is Tara. I am a peer support specialist. I specialize in supporting people in recovery from mental health conditions and substance use conditions as well. If that's you, I'm so glad you're here. If that's not you, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome in. I have got quite the topic planned this evening, but I thought first, Artem in the house. Hey, Artem, nice to see you. I thought you might like to see my sourdough in a jar. You see how beautiful she is? This is Vicky. Vicky is her name with a Y, Vicky with a Y, because I know a Vicky with an I. So I decided to spell it with a Y. She's almost completely fed. She's rising. She's on the way up. So I just wanted to introduce you. I've never actually introduced y'all to Vicky. So here she is, my pride and joy. Tomorrow is her 1-year birthday. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. I might just let her rest tomorrow because I'm cooking her up tonight. But this is Vicky. Welcome to welcome to the Monday night stream. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't write it down in my notes to tell you, but I wanted to tell y'all that starting next week, I'm gonna start streaming on Tuesdays. So I hope y'all can make it. I apologize for the inconvenience. Mondays are difficult for me. As some of you know, I had to miss last week because my recovery from my ketamine treatment was pretty gnarly last week. So I decided that instead of hoping that I'm okay by Monday nights, I'm going to start streaming on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So I hope y'all can join me. I'll be able to deliver a better product if we stream on Tuesdays. Drew in the house. Adrian says, miss you on IG. Drew, I will be back over to IG. I know that I will. I'm trying to find my feed here in the YouTube land, and I'm learning a lot. There's a lot to learn over here on the tube compared to the good old IG. But I do want to join you back on IG, Drew. And if you have not checked out my Instagram account, Drew and I met. Drew is Adrian. Adrian is Drew. Drew and I met over on Instagram. I'm so glad to have you over here, Drew. It's nice to have you. What I need to do is start getting my photographs together. I have so many photographs from my travels that I have not even shared over on Instagram. So I need to get my rear in gear and start sharing that stuff. Drew, please stay tuned. I will be back to IG eventually. I promise. And I don't make promises lightly. I'm glad you're here, Drew. Body Illusion in the house. Hey, Body Illusion. Nice to see you. Rev Rashim. Hey, Rev. Rev says, good evening, Tara. And I am, oh, I forget that I can click on, I want to click on Drew's too. Drew, I miss you too. Rev says, good evening, Tara, and I am blessed to be here, and you look so beautiful and love your smile. Well, thank you very much. You always have really nice compliments, Rashim. That is a very thoughtful thing for you to say. Happy to be here, happy to be smiling. Hopefully Tuesday works better for everyone. If you missed it, I'm going to be moving the stream to Tuesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, just so that I can show up consistently and feel my best. My ketamine treatment every other week on Sundays kind of messes with me on Mondays. So Tuesday it will be. And that's starting next week. This will be my last Monday stream. Starting next week, I'll be streaming on Tuesdays. Body Illusion says, Artem, who is AKA Proudly Ignorant, loves the name Proudly Ignorant. You know what? Artem, you have come up a few times in just conversation. We're not, I hope that doesn't strike you the wrong way, but I got to give you some feedback. People love your thought process. It is so interesting in the Thursday night Discord meetings. Oh, I forgot to get the link. Let me drop the link if y'all are interested in joining us for the best meeting ever on Thursday nights on Discord. Artem, I just love having you in the meetings and hearing your very unique perspective. It is a true pleasure, and I am not the only one. I'm trying to find the link here. Here we go. Here we go. Bear with me. Here's the link for y'all. If you want to join us on Thursday, every Thursday at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we meet at this Discord channel or Discord server. That's the Tara Smiling server. It is a phenomenal meeting. It's growing slowly but surely. It has grown into a really nice size meeting with lots of different types of people, different personality types. It's a true pleasure to get to facilitate such a meeting. And it's free, by the way. That Discord meeting is free. I love the fact that I get to see y'all's faces, because on YouTube, y'all get to see my face, and I watch other people's lives. It's nice to see their face for, however long they're streaming. It is a different experience and very enjoyable for me to get to see your face on Thursdays at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. It's free on Discord. You got it, Tara? Thanks, Drew. Yes, it. Thanks, Drew. Body Illusion, we're glad you're here. Body Illusion says, glad I made it in time to meet your sidekick. Tara, happy birthday to your baby. Can you believe she's a year old? Whoops. There you go. Isn't she beautiful? They say in recovery, if you can keep something alive for a year, like a plant, or dare I say a pet, if you can keep it alive a year, that sounds morbid, that you're ready for a relationship. And this is actually perfect segue into the topic for today. If y'all want to guess what the topic is today, I do have a nice little outline. I don't think we're going to get through all of it. This might be a 2-part series that we continue next Tuesday. If y'all are just joining, welcome in. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know who you are. Any fun plans for Memorial Day weekend? I actually didn't even know it was Memorial Day weekend. I don't have any plans. What are y'all doing? I probably could make some. Really? Yes, Artem. We love you over there at the Discord meeting. You have a very loving home over there in Discord. We're so happy to see you over there every Thursday, and I hope that we get to continue to see you over there. I did post the Discord link if y'all are interested. Steve Gonzalez joining the party. Hey, Steve. Steve says, hey, Tara, blessed Monday, or blessed. I never know whether to read that blessed or blessed Monday. Good to see you. Just ran 2 miles. Feeling great. What's the topic for tonight? So I just threw that in your court. I wondered if y'all wanted to guess what the topic is. I will tell you after everybody has an opportunity to guess. Good afternoon, Steve. Also, Steve, I'm really proud of you for keeping your workout routine up. I need to follow your lead and hop back on the workout routine horse, because my workouts have not been consistent. I've been very sporadic and doing it a lot less than I have in my IG days, we'll say. Drew knows what I'm talking about. Good afternoon, says Ben. Ben, I want to throw up this banner and give a huge shout out to Ben. Ben coming in with the sponsor bomb before the meeting today. This channel is funded solely by donations and contributions. So thank you so much. I am growing. I'm not yet big enough to receive super chats, so there are links in the description of the channel. I actually forgot to put them in the description of this video. Darn it. but they are in the description of the channel if that's something you're interested. Thank you so much, Ben, for your generous contribution. Let's see if I can talk. I also want to say real quick, I am not a medical health professional. Nothing you see here is medical health advice. I'm not a mental health professional either. That's not in the banner. Well, that's not true. I am a mental health professional. I just don't give mental health advice or guidance. I am a peer support specialist, so I provide peer support. That is what I am trained to do as a certified peer support specialist. If you need immediate mental health support, rather, not medical, don't call 988 for medical. Call 988 for mental health support. If it's an emergency, call 911. Again, if you need immediate mental health support, call 988. Just like it's 911, dial 988, call to connect with a professional who can help you in this very moment. If it's an emergency, call 911. All right, let's see where we're at here. I'm about to tell y'all what the topic is this evening. I wonder if anybody guessed. Ben says, Artem, who is AKA Proudly Ignorant, your process is great and refreshing. We just love Artem. Why the love of math is the root of all kinds of evil. Hua, 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 hua. Poke, poke. I love math, personally. I feel it's like a riddle. Give me a good equation. I love word problems. I know that's pretty weird. A lot of people are opposite. They don't like I love application-based problems. Send them over. If you've got a math problem for me that you need help with. I used to tutor for 3 years. I love it. Artem says, Ben, stop it. That's enough. Artem thinks Ben's awesome too. Ben is awesome. We love Ben. We love Artem. Oh, I skipped over some things. Kristen Melinda in the house is listening and driving. Kristen, it's so nice to have you here. I want to love on Kristen here for a second. I just think that your comments, your channel, everything that I have seen from you so far has just been top notch. And I really enjoy seeing you in the different chats. I smile when I see your name. I do my best to give you a rose always. So welcome in, Kristen Melinda. Nice to have you here. And I hope you're driving safe. Poet, Brian Lucas from A Poet. Nice to see you. I don't think I've ever seen you around these parts before, Brian, but it is nice to have you in the house tonight. Welcome in. You got perfect timing because I'm just about to drop the topic for the evening. I don't think anybody has guessed it unless Ben's guess was math. Body illusion. Question. Spanx and you making plans to get together again? I can't wait for your questions for him. Your questions are quite deep. I have a set of questions that I went to the last time that we collabed together. He interviewed me, and I was afraid that my answers were not going to be long enough to fill the hour. And so I came locked and loaded with a set of my own questions just in case, but we didn't even get through all of his questions. We're talking about doing another round where he interviews me. I also have questions for him. So that's two more things that we're talking about doing. And we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, we're talking about doing another thing together, or maybe two. We will have to see. If y'all are not familiar with the Lifeboat, let me get a link for you here. Spanx over at the Lifeboat is great. Tommy's over there at times too. Let me see here. I appreciate y'all bearing with me while I get this link. It's not letting me, there we go. Where are you at? I lost you for a second. Okay, here we go. So if you have never seen the Lifeboat, I think a lot of people in here are familiar with the Lifeboat already, but if you're not, Check him out. He's going live right after me today at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I don't know what he's talking about this evening, but to Body Illusions question, we're going to be doing a collab at some point sometime soon. If you haven't seen his interview, you can go to his channel and search for Tara Smiling, or you can see the same interview on my channel. We simul streamed it. So feel free to check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, Drew says, remember when I suggested you try out for Survivor? I do remember that, Drew, and I think that I would probably come up maybe somewhere in the middle. I would say if this was some sort of race where you had to live in a small vehicle for a period of time, or a van or something like that, I might stand a chance. But Survivor, I don't know. Thank you. I take that as a compliment. I'm just not sure. Drew, cooking out hot dogs on the Blackstone. Right on, Drew. Tony says, hello all. Hey, Tony, welcome in. It's nice to see you. Drew, Tara's rock climbing is amazing. You know what, Drew? I have been only climbing in the gym in my recovery. I've not been outside since I got clean and sober. If you know me in recovery, you know it's something that I want to get back to. The gym is as far as I've made it, and I do have fun in the gym. I appreciate the compliment, Drew. I will be getting back outdoors soon. I just need to build a network of people who are also clean and sober, or at the very least are normal with respect to their relationships with substances, and who can support me being in recovery. I have used and drank quite a bit out in those woods, out by those rocks, and I need people who are going to support me in the goals that I have today. Look at that smile when you talk about that. Horns were showing. Are you talking about collabing with Spanx? Did anybody guess the topic? Oh, shoot. Since you brought up Vicky, I'm guessing the topic is relationships, says Artem. Actually, Artem, you are correct, my friend. I will prove it. Healthy relationships is the topic that I selected for this evening. Artem in for the win. Artem in for the win. James in the house. Come Alive Ministries joining us just in time for the meat and potatoes of the stream. So yes, folks, I wanted to talk about healthy relationships tonight. So as you know, Vicky is celebrating her year birthday. I think Vicky and I have a very healthy relationship. I make sure that she stays fed. She takes care of me by feeding me delicious, fresh sourdough. We have a mutually beneficial relationship. And I want to talk about the different components of a healthy relationship. If you want to type in the chat what you think makes a healthy relationship, I would be so interested to hear from you. I also am going to open up the floor. If anybody is interested, the last 15 minutes of this stream, you are going to be invited and welcome to come and join me, have a conversation, talk about a challenge that you have, talk about a celebration that you want to celebrate, not to be redundant. So I'd be interested to hear what y'all have to say about healthy relationships. I've got a lot to say about healthy relationships, and this comes from my experience with some not so healthy relationships. So the first thing that I want to highlight that I'm looking for now in my healthy relationships, and this is not just romantic partnerships, I am talking about relationships in general. This includes friendships, sourdough starters, what have you. Open communication, in my opinion, is one of the most important things in a healthy relationship. Kristen, Melinda, I'd be so interested to hear what you have to say about this. Kristen says, just got back to the house. Thank you so much for the kind shout out earlier. It's my pleasure, Kristen. I know you're just getting back home, so you're probably pretty busy getting settled in and taking care of business since you have a family. I would imagine Kristen Melinda's got some healthy relationships around her right now. Be interested to hear what you have to say about healthy relationships. What makes a healthy relationship? Tony, open and honest communication. Yes, 100%, 100%. So I wrote down for myself when getting to know someone as a friend. So I've got a few in recovery. So let me back up. I had to walk away from a lot of friendships in when I entered recovery because I needed to surround myself with people who were clean and sober. Now, are we going to jive with everyone we meet in sobriety? Heck no. It takes time to meet people and to get to know them slowly sometimes. Sometimes we hit it off right away. My girlfriend, my bestie, we hit it off pretty immediately when we started talking. And one thing I love about her is that she does not sugarcoat anything. She asks permission when she has something to tell me, if she thinks I might have a hard time receiving it, so I can brace myself. And then she lets it rip. She tells me exactly how it is. And I really appreciate that about her. If you're listening right now, either in the live or on the replay, I love you and I appreciate your open and honest communication. Ben says safety. Okay, safety is not something that I wrote down for myself, but I agree with this 100%. I think in order to have open and honest communication, like Tony said, and like I wrote down open, I love Tony's addition with the honest. I think in order to have that, there has to be some level of safety in order to be able to share things. And that goes into the next thing. I think what you're saying, Ben, ties into the next thing I have outlined here. Let me get to some of these comments though. Honesty, yes, she knows my codes and passwords too, says James. Don't know, never had one. I'm a narcissist magnet, says Body Illusion. Well, you're certainly not alone. I have had relationships with a few people like that as well, or with tendencies at the very least, and it's a really hard thing to go through. Drew says, you're awesome. Thanks, Drew. So are you. I'm glad you're here. Hi from North Georgia. Miss Sunrise Dawn got to the party. Welcome in, Miss Sunrise. Brian Lucas. I'm so glad that you made it, Brian. And Ben is one of my favorite people, so I'm glad y'all are connecting in the comments. You will get there, says Ben to Body Illusion. As you get self-confident, you will attract a different sort. I'm experiencing this in my friendships, and it's really, really refreshing. Having put in so much work into my mental health recovery, it's nice to start building friendships with people where there's reciprocity, open communication, some of the other things that I'm about to get into as well. Well, all of these things. I wrote these things down because all of my relationships that I would consider to be healthy have these qualities and traits. Teach me where the switch is to turn it off, says Body Illusion. You know what, Body Illusion? One of the most helpful things that I learned in my mental health recovery so far is that no is a complete sentence. Period. Artem, I think there's different tiers of healthy relationships. A relationship can be very modest and distant, but not unhealthy. As long as there's no animosity, it's healthy. Okay, Artem, that's an interesting take on it. That's a very simple way to look at it. What if, and maybe I'm not defining animosity, maybe animosity is more serious than I'm giving it credit for right now, but what if there is some level of that, but you can utilize open communication to come back from that? Do you think that that's a good way to handle it or to exist in the world, Artem? Or do you think if there's ever animosity ever in the relationship that it's doomed? Kristen Melinda, I'm looking forward to this. Healthy relationship has been a topic I have pursued for over a decade and never quite figured out, although I'm probably closer with my marriage than I ever was before, but we still struggle. Well, Kristen, thanks for being honest in your communication. I really appreciate that. It's helpful to know that just like in recovery, challenges come. It's helpful to know in marriages, challenges are inevitable. I would challenge anybody who's been married without a challenge to speak up, but that's probably not going to get a lot of engagement. Narcissists are attracted to people who have let me try this again. Ben says to Body Illusion, narcissists are attracted to people who have low self-confidence. It's one of the things they prey upon because they like to control people. It's what they do. I think open communication also doesn't exist in relationships with people who have narcissistic tendencies because they're so closed and not flexible. Miss Sunrise Dawn, the most amazing mod. You are an amazing mod, Miss Sunrise. James, if you're eating dinner, love every bite like it's a Southern potluck, even when there's too much salt. The other night, I took my salt shaker. I buy it like a 2-pound thing of it at a time. I opened the wrong end of it, the big end of it, and I go all over my vegetables, and just a ton of salt came out all over it. Whoops. Ben, nice. Tara, no is a complete sentence. 100%. Ben, no, I'm not. And it's a fact that narcissists are also drawn to empaths. Yeah, Ben, I was going to say something about that, but I didn't. I suspect you are one, given some of the comments that you made as well. I think you're alluding to Body Illusion because she said you're so wise, which you are, Ben. And I'll bet you the same. Yeah, narcissists are definitely drawn to empaths, especially if they don't have boundaries. I have noticed that as my boundaries have strengthened, I'm not attracting as many people who want to take advantage of them being my boundaries. Smoke a black in the parking lot when she's shopping, then purchase some flowers and take them to the car before you rejoin her. Aw, that's sweet. That's really thoughtful. I would love to get some flowers coming out of the grocery store from my husband. That would require a husband, one thing at a time. We talked about one day at a time in Carol's meeting today, and I got to apply this here, one day at a time. Tony says, every relationship has its challenges. I realized that this weekend when at a retreat, I heard I heard someone saying things about others because of letting hurt feelings fester. That resentment will get you every time. We got to process that resentment. I processed a lot of resentment in 12-step. Everything that was left over, I had to take to my therapist because 12-step didn't get rid of everything for me. It does for some people. That's wonderful. For me, I had to take some things to my therapist. She helped me process it. It's wonderful to not have to carry that stuff around anymore. It's the open and honest and open communication that will fix those fallouts, says Tony. I think it's okay to get frustrated with each other as long as it's out of genuine concern, says Artem, as opposed to some sort of manipulation. Animosity implies an undercurrent of ill intent. Okay, so animosity is probably not something that can ever be healthy in a relationship. I hear what you're saying, Artem. Genuine concern goes hand in hand with a healthy relationship, 100%. Genuine concern, as opposed to I really like this comment, Artem. I wish I could pin it. I don't think I can. I put a star next to it, but I don't think that does anything except for just star it for me. Maybe I'll adopt a comment of the day or something. That one's in the running for sure. Kristen says, Tony, I think you're right. I've been having some really difficult, open, and honest convos with the husband lately. It's tough, but I'm glad we're doing it. Oh, I wish I could know what those are. I know I don't want to overstep boundaries and be like, ooh, Kristen, do tell, but I'm so curious as to what those would be. Maybe Kristen and I can connect sometime offline and I can take some notes. Good call about boundaries, says Ben. This is Drew, says, just listen to the other person when they're sharing. Don't be quick to offer advice. Sometimes just being there to listen is good enough. This is also a fire comment. Drew, thank you for sharing it. 100%. And as a peer support specialist, it's so important that I not offer advice. I'm not trained to do so. I am trained to listen and then to ask thoughtful questions that can help somebody sort through their own thoughts, take perspectives that they might not have had without someone there listening and asking the right questions. Not that there's any right or wrong questions, but asking some good questions is a really helpful way to help somebody get to solutions on their own. Tony says, yeah, it's tough, but you'll become stronger together, Kristen. Artem, people who wish each other well can typically work things out very easily. If there's ever some sort of conflict of interests, it's people's good intentions that make relationships healthy. What I'm hearing from you, Artem, is that the intention, the underlying intention, is it benevolent or maleficent? I think, right? Did I get those words right? If the intention is good, then that can contribute to a healthy relationship. I agree with that one, Artem. Ben says body illusion. Oh, but also know most people have been the victim, either knowingly or not, to a narcissist. They are also good at giving the illusion they are giving people, which is why empaths like them. Narcissists are able to create that illusion that they're a fantastic person. I think that's why it's a healthy thing to, which I didn't write here, but that will come out in the wash over time. People cannot maintain this perfection. Let me rephrase. People cannot maintain a perfect image over a long period of time. So that's a great hack. Getting to know people over a long period of time is a great way to avoid unhealthy relationships. Kristen, I'll message you one-to-one. I don't know if it's all for prime time. Yeah, 100%. I totally get that and respect that, Kristen. I would love to connect with you offline. I would be honored. That would be super fun, I think. I don't know if it would be fun for you, but it would be fun for me. James, when she's shopping for outfits, tell her that blouse would be smoking with her jeans. They love an encouraging, positive opinion. You know, that's a really good point, James. I would love it if when I get married, my husband would be like, dang, that would look good on you. I'd be like, thanks. Drew says, Bacon, good comment. Trying to be silent is something I'm working on too. Ben, you have so many good things to say. Why are you trying to be silent? James, wow, dude, you're so wise, says Ben. Thanks, Ben. Says James. All right, I got the next one for you here that I wrote on my list. The next component that I think is necessary, helpful in a healthy relationship. Again, we're not talking just about romantic partnerships here. We're talking about friendships too. So the next component that I think makes a healthy relationship is trust. Trust. So my bestie, I've mentioned her already once. I'm going to mention her again. Sometimes she gets super busy. She has a family. She has 2 small children. She's not able sometimes to follow through with plans. I know that she intends to call me sometimes when she says, but things come up. Children get sick, things come up. And so I know that if she doesn't call me when she says she's going to, that she's going to hit me up sometime soon after. It's usually the same day, just a little bit later, a couple hours later. So I trust that she's going to hit me up. I trust that she's going to get back to me. I have concern for her when she doesn't get back to me, but I trust that she is not ignoring me or trying to put me off or anything like that. It's just that things come up in life, and I trust that she still loves me. Kristen, I'd love to talk with you more, Tara. You're awesome. Hands yellow, heart red. I don't know why that image didn't come through. Maybe it's because I'm on StreamYard, but I like the hands yellow, heart red. Kristen, I'm looking forward to it. Hit me up. Are you on Discord, Kristen? Let me drop the Discord link again. I hope that's not the Discord link. That's the YouTube channel for Lifeboat. Let me get the Discord link. That would be a really good way, Kristen, to get a hold of me. Or I can put my email in the chat. Anybody can email me. This is not just for Kristen, but Kristen, you inspired the email address being dropped in the chat. Anybody can join the Discord. Anybody can email me at tarasmiling@yahoo.com. Oh, and before I forget, I am doing one-on-one sessions. I actually created a summer special. I created a summer special for you all if you want to take advantage of it while it lasts. I created a Patreon account where the summer special lives. So go to Patreon. Shoot, I should have got that link for you guys. Or email me. You don't have to go to Patreon and become a member there. If you email me, let me get the address for you. Thanks for bearing with me, folks. Here's the email address or the Patreon address where you can become a member, get discounted peer support sessions. I'm working one-on-one with people now, offering peer support. I also offer single sessions. If you don't want to become a member, just send me an email at that address and I'd be happy to guide you through the process. James, if she says no to lovin', respect her reason because they mean it. So be patient always. When it goes down finally, it's worth the wait. That sounds like some experience right there, James. And I would say that this goes into the trust thing. I want to trust that no means no, right? No is a complete sentence. And that goes for in marriage too. So what I hear James talking about here is trust and patience. Body Illusion says, Ben, I will take your wisdom to heart. Thank you for sharing. Oh, yes, it's powerful stuff. Most people do. It's what cults do, says Ben. I think the manipulation card. We all have known smart people in cults. That is partly why. Just try to be observant and ask questions. True that, Ben. As one doctor put it, more wise words from Ben, most importantly, know that you are worthy of a healthy and positive relationship. Yes. Yes, I would pin that too. Very nice, Ben. Jake in the house. Hey, Jacob. Nice to see you here. Jake says, I see some familiar faces in here. Jake, we are talking. If you're just joining us, welcome in. My name's Tara. I'm a peer support specialist. I specialize in supporting people in recovery from mental health and substance misuse conditions. Jacob, I think this is your first time in a live stream, and I want to welcome you in. We are talking about healthy relationships this evening. And the first thing we talked about was open communication, and that led into trust. So if you've got some components that you think play into a healthy relationship, we want to know about them. We want to talk about them. I've got a nice list here. I've only got 5 minutes left until I open up the floor for someone else to come in and talk if you want to. If you've got something you need help working through, you want some one-on-one peer support and you're willing to do it live in front of an audience, I'm happy to support you. Or if you've got something that you want to celebrate, I want to celebrate it with you. Brian Lucas, my ex-wife is a very controlling person. She'd flip out if I didn't pick up the phone every time she called me, even if I wasn't in a position to answer. I married her for all the wrong reasons. Oh my gosh, Brian. I see why that's your ex-wife. That makes so much sense. I think this ties into, it ties into the next point. It's a perfect segue. I'm gonna leave y'all hanging on that while I work through these comments here. Jacob in the house. Body Illusion says, anything for you, Tara. That's really sweet. Sorry, internet cut out for a bit. Yes, I'm on Discord. I messaged you a pic of Oscar just now. Awesome, Kristen. I will be looking out for that. I put my phone on silent during the live streams, but thanks for messaging me. I am really looking forward to connecting with you. Luke in the house. Hey, Luke. Mr. Merkabastic. Mr. Merkabastic, but I call him Luke. Because that's his name. Such a relief when you have someone you know has your best interests in mind. 100%. And that, to me, is trust. Is it Miss Sunrise Dawn? I see you so often that I didn't even realize it was your first time. Welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. And I hope to keep seeing you around, Miss Dawn. It's always nice to see you in chats. Lifeboat in the house. Whoop, whoop. What's up, Lifeboat? Is Oscar your sourdough starter? No, actually, Vicky is my sourdough starter. And since we were talking about healthy relationships, I brought her tonight. I might start bringing her every day. Do you know her birthday is tomorrow? She's going to be a year old. That's Vicky. Of course, Jacob. Thanks, back at you. Okay, so I told you I wouldn't leave you hanging. I told you I would leave you hanging, but then now here we are. I'm not going to leave you hanging anymore. The next point, and let me go back to the comment where I said I was going to leave you hanging. Okay, so Luke said, such a relief when you have someone you know has your best interests in mind. Oh, wait, was that the one? I think that was the one. Your best interests in mind. Man, I thought maybe I was thinking, maybe this doesn't tie into the thing I said I was going to leave you hanging for or hanging with, but I was thinking individuality is a really important component of a healthy relationship. We're all going to have differences of opinion. Nobody is the same person. And so I think when there are differences of opinion that come up, which is a function of open communication, which we already talked about, that working through differences, sometimes coming to, what's the word I'm looking for? When people meet in the middle, not a negotiation, but, oh my gosh, somebody help me out here. There's a word for it. I cannot, my brain, I'm drawing a blank, y'all, but I think you know what I'm talking about. When you meet in the middle and work out something that is helpful and beneficial to both of you, middle ground, pancakes, waffles, not quite. I think it starts with a C. I was asking Kristen. I love Vicky too. Oh, is Oscar? Oh, Kristen, do you have a sourdough starter named Oscar? I'm going to be so psyched if you do. Oscar is a little Oscar trophy. I offered him to Tara for use in the live stream celebrations. I have not forgot about that, Kristen. I just have forgotten to reach out to you. So now that we're connected on Discord, I am making another note of that Oscar trophy from Kristen Melinda. Thank you for offering that, Kristen. James, if she does something clumsy, relate with her by not laughing if she ain't laughing. But if she laughs, it's okay. I'm silly too sometimes. It boosts self-esteem. Laughter is the best medicine. I'll remember Vicky for trivia purposes. Yes, please remember Vicky. No, what is the word I'm thinking? Compromise. Jacob got it. That's the, yes, Jacob, you're so smart. This is the word I was looking for, compromise. Critter Life got it all. Critter Life, welcome to the party. I'm so glad you're here. Shoot, I got to open up the floor for people to come on in. Let's have a chat if you want to come up. We'll see if someone comes up. If nobody comes up, just click that link to join me. If nobody comes up, then we will just keep cruising here with the healthy relationship traits. And I want to hear what y'all think. Lifeboat, I don't think I've heard from you. Jacob, did we hear from you? What makes a healthy relationship? We've talked about open communication, trust, individuality. Another thing I wanted to touch on with individuality is having separate hobbies and interests. I think this can, like, variety is the spice of life, right? And we can always share our hobbies and interests, but I think it's actually really healthy when we have separate hobbies and interests. Like, I want to share my sourdough hobby with everybody that I talk to. My bestie hears about Vicky all the time. She asks about Vicky, just like I ask about her children. Pigs in a blanket. What are we guessing here? Are we still guessing the word for compromise? Yeah, Ben is on tonight. Thank you for being here. You're such a treasure. Ben, I want to thank you again for your donation. I really appreciate it. It's going to help me get that ticket. So the lifeboat, you don't know it yet, but when I come pick up my stuff in Arizona, I think it would be so fun to meet up with you, Ben, Ray, get a cup of coffee or lunch or something like that, and then I'll shoot up to Phoenix and grab my stuff. I talked to my brother right before this stream, and it looks like we're going to try to make this happen as soon as possible. Stay tuned. Kristen, now I kind of want to get a sourdough starter and name it Oscar, though. Kristen, I'll send you some of my starter if you want. Just let me know. Patience. Okay, patience is something that we kind of touched on earlier, but that's not something that I put on my list. Adding it right now. Patience is a virtue. The Smoky Mountains are calling you, Tara. Drew and I must go. Go for it, Spanx, says Body Illusion. Kindness, says Ben. I'm going to jot that down too. Kindness. Nobody's come up yet. Maybe it's just going to be crickets and I'm going to be here all by myself. Okay, so Artem says, one thing that triggers my mistrust is when people want to avoid talking about things perpetually. I just had this conversation with a friend that it is so detrimental to have somebody that you're friends with in a romantic relationship, whatever the case may be, that perpetually does not want to communicate. Artem says that makes me think it's because they're being deceptive. Addressing the topic would expose them. Interesante. Oh, we've got Tony in the house. I'm gonna bring Tony up. Hey, Tony. Tony. Oh, I don't like this layout. Let me. Okay, there we go. How are you, Tony?
I am good. Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. Can everybody hear her okay? Probably. I'm guessing if I can hear you, they can hear you. So Rebecca in the house, I want to say hello, Rebecca. Nice to see you. Let me see if there's anybody else who just popped in. Okay. So, oh, where'd Tony go? 5 by 5.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm so glad you're okay. I was like, oh my God, what happened? Tony, what's going on? You want to talk about something?
Oh, just Hold on a second, because I'm going to get feedback on this, I think.
Oh, feedback is
I'm trying to get my headset to go in and attach and all that fun stuff. But
I totally understand. Let me get to some of these comments while you work it out.
okay.
So, letting go. And I want to tell y'all, I dropped a link to Lifeboat earlier. Spanx over at the Lifeboat, and his dad Tommy goes on. I'm gonna get that link for you again. He's going on in 10 minutes. Well, like 15 minutes
Okay.
actually. And I want y'all to go over and support him. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat. Spanx is the man. Tony, you're back.
I'm back. I got it fixed.
Excellent. What's going on, sister?
Oh, been a good weekend. Learned a lot about myself. But relationships, believe it or not, healthy relationships is one of my favorite topics.
Perfect. Let
It's
it
one of
rip.
my favorite topics because I've
Go ahead.
learned what a healthy one is and an unhealthy one is.
Okay. So let's focus on what a healthy one is, because spoiler alert, I've got an idea for a future stream which may or may not include unhealthy. So let's focus on, what do you think makes up a healthy relationship?
A healthy relationship, first of all, you need trust. Because if you can't trust your friend or your partner or someone in your family, that relationship will never be healthy. The other thing is that open and honest communication. If it's not there, any sort of relationship you have will fail. And the third thing is boundaries. If you do not stick to your boundaries and hold your boundaries, no relationship can be healthy, because the other person will consistently pull you in to their drama, into their circle. And when it comes to children especially, it can be especially hard, because when you finally decide to put those boundaries up, it hurts not just yourself, but your child, because your child thinks you're pushing them away, which you're not doing. You're actually trying to teach them how to stand up and be a person of their own. But those boundaries have to be set, because if we keep giving and giving and giving, we lose ourselves. And once we lose ourselves, we become unhappy, they become unhappy. So those boundaries are essential. So the first thing is trust. The second thing is open and honest communication. And the third thing is boundaries. You have to have those.
I've got a question for you, Tony. What if someone like myself, for example, what if someone is having a hard time implementing boundaries? What if I have no idea what the heck a boundary is?
Time and learning what you will and will not accept from somebody, that's what creates your boundaries. So if there's a certain action somebody does, if you don't like it, that becomes your boundary. And you have to decide if you're going to let that person cross that boundary, do whatever they want, and let it have some sort of an effect on you, or are you going to stop them from crossing that boundary and walk away? Like with my child, when he starts yelling, I have started putting up a boundary of, I don't like the yelling in the house. So I get up and I leave the room that he is in, because I'm not going to put up with it. Now, does it make him upset? Most definitely. But he's learning that when I say, lower your voice or don't yell at me, he knows that if he doesn't lower his voice, I'm going to leave the room. So your boundaries are based on what kind of attitudes or actions people put towards you, whether or not you're going to accept those. Once you figure out what you will and won't accept, what you won't accept becomes your boundary, that if they cross it, are you letting them inside that boundary, or are you stopping them at that boundary and saying, I don't like that kind of whatever, and I'm going to step away, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. You have to, with boundaries, you have to decide what action you're going to take to keep the other person from crossing that boundary.
Right. Good. That's great. And speaking of boundaries, Spanx just expressed a boundary. Spanx isn't feeling well, the lifeboat, so he's not going to be going live tonight. Spanx, I hope you feel better soon, and I
Yeah,
appreciate you expressing that boundary that you want to
yeah,
create some space for yourself to feel better, and I hope that happens soon.
definitely. Feel better, Spanx.
Yeah. Rebecca says, I want to share a win since needing a meeting. Rebecca got a text about the med that she should have taken today for asthma. It'll be shipped tomorrow, so she can take it Wednesday. That is a win, Rebecca.
When, yay, Rebecca!
If I
I'm so
had that,
excited for her.
same. If I had that trophy from Kristen, which I need to take her up on that, I'd hold it up. I'm gonna hold Vicky up. I think she's grown quite a bit since I held her up in the beginning of the show. That'd be interesting to see how much she's grown.
Hey, there's your trophy.
She is a trophy. Did you hear tomorrow's her 1 year birthday?
I did.
Yes,
So there's your
Vicky.
trophy you can share with everybody.
You think the sourdough is my trophy?
Yeah, it fits you. I mean, she's your baby and everything. So, trophy,
She
it
is my
doesn't have to be
baby.
an actual trophy. It can be anything you want it to be.
She is my baby. You got that right. So Ben says teamwork is good too.
hmm
And teamwork, like making pigs in a blanket, which I can't have. So it's neither here nor there. I would eat pigs in a blanket if they were made with beef hot dogs because I don't eat pork.
hmm
That would be a fun team activity though, making pigs in a blanket.
My husband and I work, well, my husband and I and Dustin and I work very well together in the kitchen. Like we can, especially my husband and I, because we've got 20 plus years of doing it together. But we can work around in the kitchen and be a support or whatever to the other person. And just like we just go, 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 go. Dustin and Nathan, their thing is the garage with woodworking or metalworking, and they're a support to each other, coming up with different ideas to share to help the other person or whatever. So, definitely teamwork is important as well for a healthy relationship. Um, and there's many other things that are important for a healthy relationship. But when you're first starting one, open and honest communication, trust, and the boundaries.
Mm.
Because, and to me, boundaries are essential because if you don't maintain your boundaries, again, you become lost in that other person or they just take up your whole life. I let my husband and I allowed that to happen with our son. Now we're learning we have to put up these boundaries with him, which is not exactly easy because it's a lot easier to say yes than to no sometimes with him. But we have to do it, and that's what we're doing. So, boundaries to me are one of those essential things to the beginnings of relationships. Because
Right
once you're in
on.
the relationship, if you've already let them cross those boundaries, how are you going to explain putting them back up?
Good point. Artem, are you serious right now? You're thinking about going live for the 5 o'clock spot? Do you want to come up here and plug your channel real quick? Click on the link if you want to, Artem. Come up here and introduce yourself, and I'll send traffic over to you.
Definitely.
Let me. I'm gonna get Artem's channel. Let me see if I can get Artem's channel queued up here. I can never find Artem. I'm going to have to find it. Artem, I hope you come up here and give me some time to find your. Oh, I found it in my subs. Artem, if you're serious, I want you to give some kind of communication. Like come up here and plug your stuff. The lifeboat, please take care of yourself. Hope you're feeling better soon. Miss Sunrise Dawn, gotta go mod. Have fun, Miss Sunrise Dawn. It's always nice to have you.
Dawn.
No scavenger meat in James' kitchen either. Rebecca says, I think relationships do better when we look at and address our issues, our baggage. If all parties are honest with themselves as well as each other, things go better. Therapy is a wonderful thing. I agree with that. What do you think about that, Tony?
I agree 100%. 100%. I preach therapy to my family on the regular. because I have learned so much from therapy. And I'm about to go back into therapy because I have come to realize there's some trauma I haven't dealt with yet. So now I have to go deal with that trauma. But
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
it's okay. Go ahead.
We have Artem in the house, and I got really excited to see him in here. Artem, I'm gonna bring you up. Tony, I want you to feel free to finish your thought.
Oh, it's okay. I was just saying that, therapy is going to help me, but therapy helps relationships. Definitely.
Hmm. Absolutely. Artem, welcome to the party. Well,
Hi.
you've been here for a while. Artem,
So I have this roll of toilet paper like prominently in the picture. Let me put that out.
no, the toilet paper is great. It's perfect. Right
Sorry,
there.
that's weird. I keep toilet paper around to blow my nose in. It's nothing too weird. I'm sorry.
Ben says, "Oh wow, that's what he looks like in the daytime."
Yes, hi people. Yeah, it's kind of it's different on YouTube than from StreamYard. I guess the StreamYard is the more live version, because I think YouTube is like slightly delayed. So I'm having to I had to play around with that for a second.
Is it?
But I'm good now. Now I'm like exclusively. I'm just looking at the StreamYard stream, and I think we're in real time.
It's easier to look at StreamYard or Restream than it is to look at the YouTube. But if you want to make comments as a guest, you got to go to the YouTube.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not going to be making comments at the same time while I'm also like being live over here on camera.
Hey, I don't know.
I think I will.
I don't know. I do it all the time. I like it.
I'll let you two have the floor. I'll see y'all later.
Tony, it was so nice to have you.
Thank you. Bye, Tara.
Thank
Bye.
you. Artem, so you're thinking about going live. Are you serious about it? Are you really going to go live?
Well, am I not really live right now?
No, you're live on my channel. Oh, I thought you were going to go live on your channel. That's why I put it in the chat.
No, I was talking about going live on your channel.
Oh, snap. Well,
like over here right now. Like this is what I was talking about.
Oh,
this is all I meant.
All right.
This is all I meant.
We're here right now.
Yeah, I don't really care for you trying to plug my channel. Like it's a completely different kind of thing. I'm not really.
Some people are into Minecraft and that type of thing. So if you're into gaming and Minecraft, you will love Artem's channel.
Yes, I mean it's hardly even about Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft is kind of the disguise for the channel. I'm trying to and for the time being, hasn't really gotten anywhere because I'm still like in the early stages where I'm just building up the platform, so to speak. I'm trying to I'm still working on creating the Minecraft world in which I can just hang out and talk about things. I mean, it's really supposed to be, it's meant to be like a philosophy channel disguised as a Minecraft channel.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm not even there yet. So there isn't even anything to really bring to you yet. So I'm not really trying to plug my channel very much yet at all.
Okay,
if you really want to go check it out, go be my guest. I won't turn you down.
If you really want to check it out,
I'm very quiet about it.
But it sounds like Artem does not want me to plug his channel. So this is me not plugging his channel. Don't go check him out. Don't go give him support. But Artem, I'm glad that you're here right now.
Well, thank you. Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is cool. I wanted to try it out. It's a bit scary because it's kind of the experience is just being live, and it feels scary because you have to be all cautious about what you're saying because it's everything is, it feels like there's it's like evidence, you're leaving behind a trace. You got to be careful, or things might be used against you. So but I guess it's the same effect. I post videos of myself on YouTube. Essentially, I don't do live video. But I don't edit. So I guess I'm already doing that. So I guess this isn't a major leap beyond that. So I guess I'm fine with it. But it takes some getting used to. It takes some gearing up for it. It's it took me a while to get ready for it. Do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? Is this really gonna work?
Oh, it got your nerves going. Yeah, did it get your blood pumping a little bit?
Yeah, and it's not it's arguable whether or not it's even advisable. It's completely understandable to me that it's some people would just say like you should just not do that. Like that's not a good idea. Just do not do anything live on the internet. I think that's a completely plausible perspective. I mean, not plausible, completely a valid perspective to have. And in fact, for a long time, I was one of those people. I was under the impression that it's really ideal to just not try to interface with people at all, like digitally. Like I'm not on social media at all, except for on YouTube, I guess now. And it used to be that would be against my own rules. Like I kind of compromised my own principles when I started doing like YouTube videos, the Minecraft videos. And I'm not really sure how I feel. I'm really just rolling with how I feel. I mean, this is, to me, it's irrational to be doing this. Like I can't really, seriously, I don't think I can, I can seriously like make a claim that this, make the case that this is actually good practice. Like I don't actually know if it is or not. I'm just doing it anyways.
Well, I think it's very creative of you to be doing this. What I don't know a lot about you, but I've been interacting with you in the Discord stream or meetings long enough now to know that creativity is something that could really, I think, benefit your life. And so creativity is exactly what you're expressing here. And I think it's a beautiful thing.
Sure, yeah. I guess that's what I'm doing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Body Illusion says the TP, the toilet paper, just makes you more personal. It makes you more human.
I'm always sick, so I'm always doing this.
It was for your nose. I thought maybe
Yes.
it was on deck to go into the lavatory.
That's the thing. That's why I didn't want to have it out, because I'm sure that's what everybody will think immediately. But no, I just keep it around to put my nose in. Yeah, it's if I was to do this with like with a handkerchief, like a normal person, I guess, or tissues. The thing I prefer it over tissues because like it lasts longer. It goes and it's rougher. I like that it's rougher. Tissues like they I don't like how they feel in my nose because I have to blow my nose so frequently.
And then you don't have to buy a separate thing too. You don't have to buy Kleenex or tissue. Excuse me, tissue. So Ben said, still glad I subbed because no matter what he does, Artem is a good guy.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate the kindness from this community. You guys should really not be so quick to make that assessment because I tell you, like it's very common with me that people like me at first, and then as they get to know me, like a year into the relationship, things kind of change, and then they kind of just turn on me and it's like something happens and they don't like me anymore. This happens very frequently. Like I struggle with this. This is a common occurrence.
I've heard you say this before, Artem, but we're like halfway there. I think, what are we, a good 6 months in? We're like halfway. Should I mark the calendar for the day that I'm not going to be able to stand you anymore?
Yeah, well, I think I first like watched one of your live streams. It was January 15th.
January, you know the day?
Yeah, I know the day because I do. I keep track of it. It's an important date for me too.
Okay.
It's when to start. But then I actually watched all of the backlog of all of your videos before that because there was pretty early on still. There wasn't very many of them, and it was at the time when they were still allowing people to listen to stuff in their headphones at work. They stopped doing it. But back in the day, I used to just be able to listen to whatever I wanted, and I listened through like all of your previous ones before that. Oh wait, no, I was it just before? Might not have been all of them. Might have only been like I don't remember actually now if it was really all of them or just like a whole bunch of them. I don't remember.
It could have been all of them because I don't have that many videos still. I'm still trying to figure it out too. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Anyways, but. I was a very big fan when starting off, and I guess that's not fully. Now it feels more personal. It's now I feel like I'm.
He was a really big
like
fan in the beginning.
Now or something.
Okay, Kristen says I can actually really relate to what Artem is saying. I wrestled a lot with having my personal stuff replayable online. Now I'm kind of deciding, F it. Although some stuff I'll still keep private. Kristen Melinda's a boss. She does karaoke on her live streams. I'm gonna plug Kristen Melinda's channel. Artem, feel free to talk about what you will or pose some philosophical question to the audience. Tell us something about healthy relationships and what you look for. Whatever you want while I get Kristen Melinda's channel to plug it.
Sure. I guess I would like to say, for me, like trying to make healthy relationships happen has really, the biggest limiting factor for me has just been sheer time. I've just not been having the time to be able to actually go out very much and see people. That's a big part of the reason why I started participating in your stream, because like this is something that's very low effort and I don't have to go anywhere, and it only lasts like so long, and it's a good way to like socialize a little bit, and but like outside of like Tara's stream and Tara's Discord, I've been kind of not socializing very much, and it's not from lack of friends. Like there's a bunch of people that would like to see me that I've just been not I just haven't been going out very much, and it's because our work has been really intense. But I've quit my job recently. I'm not doing it anymore. So now I'm just taking my sweet time to really get back into actually seeing people. But I still haven't actually went out to like hang out much. It's just because I haven't transitioned into like the new life yet. I'm still kind of just coping from just in like recovery mode, I guess. But I don't feel like healthy relationship, like it's like they're like people are always like there's always new people out there. I feel like it's just a matter of time. Like I don't feel like it's been necessarily so much that it's difficult to find healthy relationships, as much as it just takes time and patience and persistence, and then you'll manage to find them. And that's kind of how I feel about it currently. Like I feel like I'll have no problem. Like it's not really a problem that it's hard to do it. It's just that it's the time that's limiting, which is really sad. It's very unfortunate that that's the limiting factor. That I'm like super isolated right now. And it's because of just not having the time to like just go out and socialize much. But it's also, I mean, it's a big factor has been just the chronic illness. Because like aside from working overtime, I was also I'd be feeling too sick to do anything. I'd be feeling like after work I just gotta like recover and I stretch a lot too. Like that helps a lot with the symptoms. But like that will just leave me with no time to actually do anything. But now I have the time for it, and I'll be back out there.
You know what? You remind me of something that I didn't think of myself, which is good self-care. I think in order to have healthy relationships, we have to take good care of ourselves. And what I hear you describing is good self-care. You stretch. That's something that I hear you talk about often. And I think it's really insightful for you to realize that self-care is a critical component of a healthy relationship.
Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah, I guess I haven't really thought of it in those terms. Yeah, I guess you do have to. Like, it's kind of one of the predicates, right? Like you do have to. But then I don't think people that don't take good care of themselves are like just abject people that you can't be friends with. Like I'm okay being friends that don't take good care of themselves. So I don't really think that that's necessarily like a necessary component. So I feel I do agree with you that it's probably it helps to take good care of yourself. But I think I would say that the people that are struggling with taking good care of themselves probably actually need the support very much, and could probably use some healthy support from you if you're the kind of person that would be willing to, that has the capacity to like help somebody out. The thing is, you can't help people when you're also struggling. Like when you're yourself are going through a really difficult time, well then you're not going to have the mental capacity or the time to be trying to help other people, and that can really be a major setback too. Because like if there's somebody in your life that's reaching out to you wanting to help you, you are lucky. You are lucky to have that person there. That is a luxury that I would guess like most people just do not have. and you should be very grateful for that one person, or if you have multiple, like it's like that's rare. That's a rare occasion.
So
But I think it's really good to be that kind of person that's out there, that looks out for their friends when they need them.
mm-hmm. So do you think that a person that is not taking care of themselves could be considered healthy, or are they unhealthy?
I mean, healthy and I don't really care how unhealthy they are. It's a matter of good intentions. Do they have good intentions? To me, that's the only thing that I really care about.
Don't they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions?
They do, but I don't think that's necessarily accurate. I think I think that I think the sentiment there is kind of it's like I understand the sentiment that with good intention, like you get penalized, like people don't like it when other people do it. But I think that's not because it necessarily that's just the rule of thumb. That's just it's not like a law of the universe. It's not like a law of physics. That's what happens. I think it's an unfortunate outcome. If you having good intentions and doing things to sort of help the world, that oftentimes you will be met with a wall of difficulties and people from animosity, a lot of animosity from people that might not like what you're doing or might be resistant to what you're doing. And I think that's probably in large part motivated by just sheer envy. Like people don't like seeing other people doing the right thing because they're not doing the right thing, and they feel like it makes them look bad or something. And I think that's probably at the root of all ill intentions. It's just that egotism of feeling like of being overly concerned with like how you relate to other people, feeling like, oh, he's trying to be better than me. I don't like him, and I don't like him for being that way, or just feeling irritated about how like you're in some way you're inferior to another person, or and resenting them for it. Like I think it's perfectly healthy to feel jealous, but it shouldn't when it turns to envy, when you feel like it makes you want to harm those people in some kind of way. That's what I would call animosity, and I think that a lot of people are susceptible to that. But I'm also very forgiving of that. I also feel like that's a big part of like it's a human impulse that's in a lot of people, and that I don't feel that much contempt for those kinds of people. I don't like the term narcissism. I think it's overly used, and I don't think it's necessary. I don't think we have a good understanding of it, and I think it's kind of a really harsh assessment. Like I use the term egotism because egotism to me, like it's very simple. It just comes down to people's sense of how they relate to other people relatively, and being overly concerned with that. That to me is egotism. I think that's at the root of a lot of conflicts, a lot of interpersonal struggles. And I think in arts, and I think basically every personality disorder, every like negative trait can really be boiled down to egotism. Just being, I think that's at the root of everything, of narcissism or for bipolar, or for like everything. All of that. Like, I'm extremely skeptical of psychology in general. Like
I know this about you. I'm aware. Yes.
Every disorder out there, I'm like, I don't know if that's really a thing or not. But I'm also very forgiving. Like I believe in being radically lenient, and that's on account of determinism, because I don't believe in free will. So I think everybody deserves forgiveness, no matter how terrible of a person they are. I would still give them another chance. If a person, wants to be like a part of my life, I'll forgive them, no matter how terrible they've been to me in the past. And I don't like to retaliate. I don't. I might feel like I've been so terribly mistreated at work, and I have all of this angst, all of this pent up anger that I just want to share with the world. That would be too mean. So I don't want to be trying to talk about that, because I would feel mean. I would feel mean to do that. So I try to avoid doing it, to avoid being mean to people, just in retaliation. I don't even like to be retaliatory. Just to be try to stick to that principle of being radically lenient.
Jacob says the sentiment is that action is required in this life, even if we care a lot. Caring alone will not get people out of bad situations. I can't provide support to others by just wanting to. What do you think about that?
Is that right? I think he's referring to the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Oh, good call. I didn't even catch that. Is that what you're referring to, Jacob?
I guess, well, that's where we use the word sentiment, so I think that's.
I think you're right. Good catch.
So we're still trying to. I'm. By the way, I am not witty on the spot. Like I'm also like I'm not good at doing things live. It's because like I don't actually think that I'm good at like coming up with things to say on the spot. I try hard. I work on it. I think I've probably gotten better at it. But I don't like. I'm not really actually that witty enough to like be quick on the spot.
I think you're doing a great job. I think you're doing a great job. I think you've got courage just coming up this evening. That takes courage to do that. Don't sell yourself short.
I'm organic, okay?
So Jacob says, Artem, you were super smart and your take on things is really appreciated.
Oh,
And he
well,
also
thank you.
says,
Thanks.
yes, you caught it, Artem. Yes, that's what he was referring to. The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Actions are required. I think it's. I mean, I think that's. I'm not saying that that's what you're saying. I mean, that makes sense, and I do. That is a good point. That that action is required for that. I mean, I'm just thinking. I don't know if that's exactly what is meant by that sentiment. I think there's more to it than that. But that is. I mean, that is true. That action is required to help people out in bad situations. And it's not enough to just care. But I think that's basically what caring is, isn't it? To like be willing to actually do something for people. Well, I guess you can care like even just expressing goodwill that you wish you could help that person. I think that already kind of can go a long way. So I guess it's not. But I think that there's more to that sentiment. Because I feel like I've been subjected to that of like being punished for trying to do the right thing because people really don't like people that are trying to do the right thing. And I'm not just, here's where my lack of wit comes in. Like I wasn't really prepared. Like I know I have thoughts about this and they're just not coming up. So I'm really struggling to answer that question. I don't think I can really do it on the spot. I'd have to think about it. Really
Artem, you're doing a great job. Kristen says, it's not just me, Artem. Check this comment out. Kristen says, Artem, you are very articulate and have an interesting perspective. I'd love to hear more from you either on YouTube or podcasts or something like that.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for the kind words.
She also agrees with your point about narcissism being overused. It exists for sure, but not everyone's ex is a narcissist, although I'm sure some are.
Yeah, I'm skeptical of how inflexible. Like people act like narcissism is very concrete. It's very like it's this discrete set of traits, and this is just the way those people are, and that like everyone that's narcissism is like that. And I think there's a tremendous amount of variation, and I think people are actually like people's brains are more there's more plasticity because like people can change. I've seen people that have those narcissistic traits kind of gradually change over time. It can happen. It does happen. It can happen. I think sometimes it's not out of bad intention, and sometimes it's because people literally can't help themselves. Sometimes it might be coming from a place of insecurity or just trust issues. So I think I want to say that those people still deserve sympathy, even though they might strike you as terrible people. So that's why I don't like using the term narcissist because that feels too harsh. It's like such a harsh assessment. But also I'm skeptical of that of what that even means. Like what exactly does that really even mean? There's just so much to it. And like a lot of things, like I don't believe that people can really be that easily like pigeonholed, I guess, because with the narcissistic traits, because they're like, I don't think it makes them. I don't think it necessarily. Like, there's degrees. There's different degrees. And like I think like having like a slight amount of that might not necessarily make you that terrible person. And I think it can also be a valid point to make it. You can make the case that everyone has a little bit of it in them.
Yeah, it's actually healthy. My understanding, and Kristen will be able to chime in on this. I think she just did actually. So Luke says we've all had narcissistic traits, and I think there is, but my understanding is correct, a healthy level of narcissism to have. Like, it's not unhealthy to have narcissistic traits. It's the certain number of them within a normal bell curve is a healthy thing. So they're great teachers for those that choose to reflect their actions. And then Kristen says, oh, I'll get the DSM out later tonight. She's a therapist. Kristen Melinda is a therapist, which is admittedly flawed, but it's a good place to start, she says. And then Jacob said earlier, I think this is with respect to the road to hell is paved with good intentions again, says there's for sure more to it. He's responding to what you said, Artem, but it is just one saying, covering only some slices of the pie of life.
Yeah, I think I should probably wrap it up. I'm just stuck thinking now what it means that the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah, you're in it now. You're in it now. And I was thinking
I just can't come up with things live to say that, but I want to so much. But I'm just like thinking about that now. So that's probably a good spot to end the live session.
I am so glad that you came on tonight. It has been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure as well. So that's great. We should do this more often. Thank you. Thanks
yeah, absolutely. You're welcome anytime, Artem.
How do I end the stream? I
think there's an end stream button that you push. There you go. So that was Artem, ladies and gentlemen. He's a super interesting person, a very deep philosophical thinker, and I'm so glad to have his company here. So now you have a face to go with a name that is proudly ignorant. If you're interested in seeing more of him, join us at the face-to-face Discord meeting. You don't have to have your camera on if you just want to show up and be on voice only. That's totally fine. But you can, every Thursday night at 6 o'clock Pacific, a group of us meets. Artem doesn't mind if I put him on blast. He goes to that meeting too, and it's always interesting to hear his perspectives. Kristen, more on the narcissistic PDs. Kristen says, folks who have narcissistic personality disorder usually developed it because of some childhood trauma too. And that's super sad. I think it is, like we were saying earlier, I think it was Kristen's comment that not everybody's ex is a narcissist. Yeah, how often do we hear that people dated narcissists? But narcissistic tendencies are different from narcissistic personality disorder, which is what Kristen here is talking about. And it's actually a really sad psychological state, in my opinion. Artem is back in the comments section. Artem, it was so nice to have you on this evening. And Ben says, sorry, I was catching up when I made tea. You know what? I made this tea hours ago and I haven't even drank any of it. It's cold now. It's not even hot anymore. What kind of tea did you make, Ben? I think, folks, what I said in the beginning of this stream, that this might be a two-parter, is actually the case. I think I'm going to wrap this up at like the 90-minute mark, which is in like a minute. So we'll have some more things to talk about in terms of healthy relationships next week. So I want to challenge y'all to be thinking about your relationships. I'm not just talking about romantic. I know I kind of repeated that a few times, but I think it's really important to nurture healthy relationships across the board, not just in a like husband or wife or boyfriend, girlfriend type of context. I want to challenge you to look at your relationships and evaluate the health or lack thereof of your relationships. I know I've had some unhealthy relationships in my day. But I feel that as I have put work into my mental health recovery and just being clean and sober and my substance misuse recovery, that my relationships are improving. And when I get to know people that I'm just meeting, it seems that the dynamic is much more healthy than past relationships. So I'm happy to report that. I told you my tea because I know you really wanted to know. I do really want to know, Ben. Are you going to tell me? Mr. Ray Ray's in the house. Ray Ray, nice to see you. I'm just getting ready to wrap things up. But I wonder if people are going to be over on Discord after this. Hint, hint. I just wonder. I'm not making any promises. I don't want to fall through on my trust and say I'm going to be there if I'm not going to be there. But I'm just wondering if people are going to be over on Discord. This was interesting today. Glad I made it, says James. Me too, James. I actually did, is the weird part. For real. Wait, I missed something. Did you make tea? I need new tea. Okay, I think I missed that one. I need new tea. I bought some hibiscus at the grocery store, but it's not great. You know what? I'm not a huge fan of most hibiscus teas either, Kristen. Some of them, they're not all created equal. Some of them are good, but it's hard to find a good hibiscus. I think sun tea is a great way to brew hibiscus. I've had better luck making sun tea with hibiscus leaves. We can bring those traits in others as well. Narcs have little power over those that love themselves while not obsessing over what others think. Good point, Luke. There are I'd be interested to know Kristen Melinda's take on this, but Luke is talking about like perhaps something that could be viewed as a positive narcissistic trait. That's interesting. I've never considered that before. Ben says, I would love to hear your thoughts on the DSM. It's pretty simplistic on that subject. Well, according to me. I think you're talking to Kristen Melinda on this. I could give my thoughts on the DSM at a later time. Today's not going to be the day for that. But Ben, I think you were talking to Kristen Melinda. Only 9 criteria for narcissistic personality disorder in the DSM. Raspberry and peach detox. Interesting, Ben. Kristen, get my kiddo ready for bed, but I'll pop over if I can. That sounds good, Kristen. I don't want to make any promises that anybody will be there. I don't know how people are feeling tonight, and there's nothing scheduled. But Spanx is not going live tonight, so I was just wondering if people are going to be hanging out instead. I'll be thinking about why good intentions get backlash now. I'll try to come up with answers by next week. Artem, I expect a full report. Does not have to be in the form of a 5-paragraph essay. Do as you will. I'll be looking forward to that. Rebecca, I have some organic peppermint tea from Trader Joe's here. Is that backwards? It is backwards. Organic peppermint tea that I actually made for Carol's stream and never drank. I love agua de Jamaica. I wonder how you say that word with an accent. Jamaica. Agua de Jamaica. Kristen Melinda, well, on the positive end, a little bit of narcissism allows people to be more ambitious, right? Without as much self-consciousness, it's easier to do things like run for president. Yeah, there's got to be healthy or unhealthy, maybe depending on who's making the determination, level of narcissism to run for president. Good point, Kristen. All experiences are teachers to make us powerful is the way I see things these days. All experiences. Luke's got some super deep comments. Luke, it's always a pleasure to have you in the live streams and over on the Discord. I hope it's okay that I just blew your cover, that you go over there. If y'all want to join us, hop on over to Discord on Thursday nights at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We have a great little meeting over there on Thursdays, 6 o'clock. Also, I am running a summer special over on Patreon. You can go over there and purchase a package to work with me through the summer. I'm getting a link, so bear with me while I get it. You can also schedule a one-on-one. You don't have to go through Patreon. Just email me at tarasmiling@yahoo.com. I'm putting it in the chat. Feel free to send me a message if you just want to say hi too. I love getting email from y'all. Luke, I'll always push the kombucha because it's helped me so much. Kombucha and I don't get along very well, interestingly. Is preoccupied, okay, Ben's listing criteria from the DSM. Is preoccupied, did I miss the first one? But number 2 is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success. That's not me. My friends tell me that this is the case, but I have a hard time believing them. It's Spanish. J is pronounced as H, right? Jamaica? How do you say Jamaica with a Spanish accent? Jamaica? Jamaica? James has time for Discord today. Don't know about Thursday yet. I don't know if people are going to be over on the lifeboat or Tara Smiling. I might pop in and see what's cracking. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't enjoy some unlimited success, though? Kristen Melinda's got a great point. I would love to believe that success is unlimited for me. To some extent, I do, but not fully. Like, I believe it's possible. I don't know that I'm going to ever achieve unlimited success, but I believe that it's possible if I get my mind right and start doing a lot more yoga. Ben, 3 is a good one that might be, talking about DSM criteria again. 3 is a good one that might be seen as a good trait. Believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high status people. Whoa. That is, I do not meet that one either. Oh wait, but it's or. Believes that he or she is special. I'm definitely special and unique and can only be understood by, and can only be understood by or should have said, okay, yeah, I don't meet that criteria. So, but I do believe that I'm special. Luke, it's just a fantasy. Don't have to worry about outshining others. Thanks, Luke. Yeah, but preoccupied, are these narcissistic traits? Yes, Luke. 4, requires excessive admiration. Requires excessive admiration. Yikes. Make CA is how it sounds. Jamaica is how it sounds. Jamaica. Okay, so I was correct. I think that's how I said it. Not Jamaica. 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 Thanks, Ray Ray. Has a sense of entitlement. Ben, number 5, has a sense of entitlement. Artem, see, I think the DSM way overcomplicates personality disorders and that everything can just be boiled down to people wanting to feel like they're better than others, which is ego. Maybe narcissistic personality disorder people want to feel like they're better than others, which is ego. Here I am seeing the good in everything. It was going over my head. Luke, I'm glad you're here. 6 is intentionally exploitative. Yikes. Yikes. Run the other way, folks. I mean, provide unconditional love. But there's like a point where talking about the communication thing and healthy relationships, it's like if they're intentionally exploitative, if I can say that word, like Ben said, intentionally exploitative, then there can't be any trust there if you're always concerned that they're going to exploit you or other people. Kristen, narcissistic personality rarely gets diagnosed in regular therapy settings because people with it usually don't realize they have a problem, so they don't come in for treatment. I did know that. Kristen, I can't wait to connect with you. I am so looking forward to it. Artem, all of those 6 traits are in pursuit of trying to feel better than others. Yes. 7, oh, there's a 7th. I thought there were only 6. 7 lacks empathy. Yikes, yikes. Is willing to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. Unwilling. Unwilling. It's terrifying. Janet G in the house. Janet G, welcome in. Nice to see you. I'm just getting ready to wrap it up here. I thought I was going to wrap it up at an hour, and then the lifeboat called in sick. I hope he's feeling better. If you're watching this right now, Spanx, I really hope that you are taking care of yourself and maybe having some tea and actually drinking it. The tag just fell off. And then I thought we were going to go for 90 minutes, but that did not happen. Now we've been going for 1 hour and 40, which is fine by me. My brother is a narcissist, trying to figure out what type, says Janet. Kristen Melinda might be able to help you, although she can't diagnose someone that she hasn't evaluated. Ben, watch we go for like another hour. No, that's not going to happen. I really am getting ready to wrap it up. Ben, 8. There's 8. I thought there was only 6. Is often envious. Oh, they have to meet 6 of the criteria, maybe. Is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of him. Is often envious. Not every once in a while. I think people turn to adversarial tactics because they're operating under the cynical assumption that life is about ruthless competition and that everyone is doing it. Yikes, also. Unwilling is different than unable. Tricky semantics, but important. Unwilling is different than unable. So what would it be called if they were, if like, would somebody meet all the criteria except for that one and then not qualify? But then they only have to meet 6 of the criteria, so maybe not. Maybe it's case by case. I don't know. I'm not a therapist. This is not mental health advice. Thank you to all the sponsors. You know who you are. 9 shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. Yeah, Luke says, good list. Thanks, Ben. We're learning a lot. Have your tea and drink it too. Cheers. Oh, Ben, number 1, has grandiose sense of self-importance. I relate to many, but not natural states, says Luke. Yikes. Oh, you only need 5. Okay, right on. And then Janet, everything is other people's fault. They're a victim and yet so superior. I'm so glad that I don't meet that criteria. Thank God. Okay, y'all, this has been a pleasure as always. Remember, like Mufasa says in The Lion King to Simba, remember. This is my last week streaming on Mondays. Next week, I'm going to start streaming on Tuesdays at 4 so that I don't feel so tired every other week on Mondays and I won't have to miss anymore because of ketamine treatment. Tuesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time is the new word. It has been a pleasure speaking with you as always. I'm going to try something new on my sign off here. But I am going to stick with, I love you very much. Janet G, 4 Pacific. Yes, ma'am. 4 Pacific. That is correct. I have fresh mint on chamomile growing in my garden. That sounds great. Great stream, Tara. Thanks for everybody's input. 100%. DJ Devin. Nice to see you, DJ Devin. Hi, Tara. Is ketamine treatment expensive? It can be. Yes, it definitely can be. But I am working with a fantastic nurse practitioner She helped me navigate the system, and we got to a treatment protocol that works for me. So I would encourage you, if the cost of treatment is out of reach, to communicate that with your prescriber, the person who has suggested ketamine treatment to you, and keep talking about it with them. Just every time it comes up, explain what your situation is. That has worked for me. Great stream. Thanks to Critter Life. I'm so glad that you made it. And DJ Devin, I'm glad you made it here too. Feel free to email me with any questions. I also do one-on-one sessions. Email me for more information. TaraSmiling@yahoo.com. Whoops. There's hoops to jump through. Oh, Kristen Melinda, depending where you are and what insurance you have, sometimes health insurance covers it. That's a great point, Kristen Melinda. My insurance covered the nasal spray, but I would have had to travel 2 hours north to get it, which I was willing to do. So glad that I didn't end up having to go that route. I take intramuscular and sublingual ketamine, offset by a week from one another. Anyways, I love you all very much. I'm going to go with saying, this is Vicky. Her birthday is tomorrow. This is sourdough in a jar. Look how much she's grown just on this stream. She's grown quite a bit. And last but not least, I hope to talk to you soon. Thanks for being here.